After quite a bit of time of speculation, and people promising trailers on certain days, and fans being angry, and just Twitter being chaos, finally, we have a trailer for Avengers 4, which now officially is Avengers Endgame. God, it feels good to finally have a confirmed title. Let's talk about it.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
So, I'm still thinking about this trailer, and my thoughts may change a bit, but honestly, I love this. When I first saw it, I thought, okay, that's a teaser. A little underwhelming compared to what I was expecting. But the more I thought about it, the more I appreciated why that's actually a good thing, at least for me. The problem, I think, is, and this falls to the fans as well, that this trailer was so highly anticipated that the countdown for it almost felt like the countdown for the movie itself. Since there's been so much secrecy around the movie and the trailer and even the title, people are going to be disappointed that this isn't like the greatest thing ever created. But the thing is, Marvel has said that the way they're marketing this film is going to be very different from how they've marketed their films before. I'd look at this next to the Infinity War teaser, which is what I think I was hoping this would be like, or at least would give me the same kind of emotions. Because that is how you do a fan-pleasing teaser. There's action and amazing group shots and nostalgia and blaring iconic music and awesome reveals and just so many heroes. That's how a lot of Infinity War's marketing was. Here, I think the approach they're going to take is to keep most of the film close to the chest. Even more so than Infinity War, because even with all the awesomeness in those trailers, Infinity War still had a lot of great movie-exclusive reveals. But here, I suspect not just with this teaser, but with everything, they're going to be playing it super low-key. And I absolutely love that. Because parts of why I wasn't crazy about Infinity War the first time I saw it were expectations based on the trailer that distracted me in the film. Like this shot missing, or Cap against Thanos not being as epic as I thought it'd be, or whatever. It was only the second time when I kind of put that out of my head that I feel like I really appreciated it. There were other reasons, but that's a big one. And so here, really, I can't see anything like that happening at the moment. I was originally planning on not watching any of the marketing, but given that that's kind of unrealistic for a lot of reasons, I appreciate that this trailer basically didn't tell me much of anything about the film. It also means a lot of the coolest reveals will be kept for the film. I was thinking when I was watching it for the first time, man, they couldn't have shown something, like Tony reuniting with Steve, or the Avengers popping up in New York, or Thanos versus some of the Avengers, or some kind of crazy moment before the trailer ends, like that Cap versus Thanos thing. But I'm really glad they didn't, because that'll make those reveals that much sweeter in the film itself. There isn't a single shot of action in this trailer, and I kind of love that. Will this affect the film's box office? Maybe. But I mean, A, I feel like they could have just released a poster that said Avengers 4 is coming on this day, and everyone would still go and see it, because people just like these movies. And B, even if it does, I don't think it'll be major. I think Marvel can afford to make $1.5 billion rather than $2 billion. But again, honestly, I don't think it will. I don't know if this will be as big as Infinity War, that'll get clearer the closer it gets, but this strategy of low-key marketing is not a bad idea at all to me. I mean, the audience is pretty much already there. And now let's talk more about the content of the trailer itself, because yes, while it is more subtle than, say, the first Infinity War teaser, there is still a lot going on. The first minute or so is spent on Tony in the Guardian ship leaving Titan, which I find interesting because, and I don't really know why, but I just assumed he'd make it back to Earth pretty immediately, or they'd kind of skip the logistics of him actually having to find his way back. I don't think him stranded in space will take up a ton of time in the film. I suspect he'll figure something out pretty fast to move it along, but I like the scene, or at least what we've seen of it. His message to Pepper is pretty emotional, reminded me of Iron Man 3, and I'm happy that it seems like they're really going to finish off Tony's arc here. I think he's going to die, and it's going to be in some sacrificey way. Or he'll get to marry Pepper. Or both, who knows. But I think this is going to play back to what Yinsen said to him in the first Iron Man when he sacrificed himself. Don't waste your life, that kind of thing. And Tony's going to give his life for something pretty valuable. Stopping Thanos, saving Pepper, who knows. I like that it opens with that though. Also seeing Tony on the Guardian ship, as an MCU fan, that's just a cool visual to me. We get a little hint of Thanos on his new planet, but nothing much. I think this film is going to be less Thanos focused than the last one, not because of the lack of him in this teaser, but just we got a lot of Thanos backstory, and he's now a pretty iconic character. I think now it's time for the characters who didn't get much time to shine in Infinity War to have at it and beat the crap out of him, which is where Steve Rogers comes in. Now they've already said that he's going to have a big part in this film, and this teaser shows that a bit. I'm very excited for that, because Steve Rogers is my favorite character in the MCU, and I want to see more of that story arc and probably the ending of it. Seeing his old picture of Peggy Carter was a sweet and sad moment, and I'm putting this out now, prediction that most people have probably already made. Peggy's coming back in this film. In a flashback, through time travel, I don't know, she's coming back. A, because in this trailer that already doesn't show very much, I think it's odd that they showed that if she wasn't going to play some part in this. And B, she's been such a surprisingly big part of this universe, considering that she started as a love interest side character, and such a big part of Steve's arc, that it'd be fantastic to see her again. I love her and Steve together, and if he gets to see her again through the time travel that I'm guessing they're gonna use in this film, I'm gonna cry. That's my second prediction. Especially if that's how Steve's arc ends, getting to go off with Peggy for their last dance, somehow. That would be the perfect way to end a story. I guess we can talk about plot predictions. They're pretty much the same for me as when I made this video. If anything, this just confirms some of them for me. I think they're going to be pretty down for a bit and trying to make sense of everything. Then Scott's going to show up to the Avengers base, even though they thought he was dead, which is why Steve says, "Is this an old message?" And then this scene happens where Steve's like, "Yeah, I'm going to cry more if this doesn't work." Thanos probably gets involved, and this was all part of Doctor Strange's plan, and yada yada. You know what I think will happen. Again though, I love how little they showed, because there's so much going on here that they could have put in this. Like going back to the original Avengers film and Steve and Tony meeting up again. And I can't wait to see that in the cinema. The other biggest reveal, besides the title, which I like a lot, is Hawkeye finally being back. Although now he's Ronin. Still don't know about that haircut, but that costume looks awesome. And I can't wait to see more of Clint Barton. I'll talk a bit more about this in my next video, where I talk about his possible Disney Plus show. But I really like his character, and I look forward to seeing him go a bit darker after his family's killed in a snap. Which is what I'm assuming has happened. There's some more miscellaneous things. Shuri was killed in a snap, so that sucks. I'm not entirely sure, but I thought the Russo said she survived, but whatever. Honestly, I'm just not going to trust what those sneaky Russo brothers say anymore, because they've just lied about a ton of this stuff. Not that I have a problem with it. In fact, I actually like that, because now that I know they've said stuff that isn't true, like for example with this title, to throw people off, if they confirm something or don't confirm something, I don't know what to believe, which again, keeps stuff more under wraps and makes it cooler when I finally see it in the film. So, keep it up, Russos. There's no Rocket in this trailer, but they can only show so much. I guess he might be hanging out with Steve, Nat, Thor, and Banner at Avengers HQ. We get the return of everyone's favorite Thor look, the casual hoodie. I'm guessing he'll play a somewhat smaller role in this one, given how much he did in the last one. Speaking of everyone's favorite looks, but not sarcastically this time, Steve's got his SHIELD stealth suit back, which is an awesome suit. Personally, my favorite is the Civil War Age of Ultron one, but I do also love this one, and I get when people say it's their favorite. And then we get Scott at the end, which I liked, partly because I love Paul Rudd, and partly because it showed that, yeah, this is still an MCU film. Even though Tony's depressed and in space and everyone's dead, there's still going to be some comedy and some fun in here. A good mix of epic and fun. That's what I'm hoping for. I will say, if there's one thing I genuinely don't really love about this teaser still, I feel like they could have used the Avengers theme in there. I mean, I know you want to make it different from Infinity War's trailers, but I just love the fact that they used that classic theme in those trailers, and the film itself, that I feel like it just would have made this cooler, rather than what felt like pretty generic movie trailer music. Don't hate it, but meh, just a thought.
This is gonna work, Steve.
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
Overall though, I was just dying to see more of these characters that I love, considering we've seen so little for such a long time, by MCU standards. And so just to get a little taste, I'm really happy with it. Keeping this one more secretive is great for me, going into the cinema and just experiencing all the moments and reveals as they're meant to be experienced in the final film, that's what I'm looking for. I've got a wishlist video that should be out at some point, and I'll definitely be talking about this more in the next few months. But yeah, this looks great, and we're getting it in about 5 months. That's really close actually. Can't wait, obviously, I'm super hyped. So those are my thoughts on the trailer for Avengers Endgame. What do you think of this? Let me know all of your thoughts down below in the comments. While you're at it, be sure to like this video, check out my Instagram and Twitter at BHL_Hudson, check out this podcast about movies and TV and whatnot I do every so often with a friend of mine. It's called the Poorly Planned Podcast. And subscribe for more videos like the one you just watched. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.